This video is for all the people that answered God's calling for their life as a nonprofit leader, business owner, or Christian entrepreneur. I wanted to share some information that I just recently picked up and that I'm going and growing through myself. All right, so make sure you stick around for the end. I want to leave you with a few, just kind of a few questions to challenge you, kind of see where you're at and see what kind of work God may be doing in your heart right at the moment. So what I want to share with you is an impact that this training is making on my life called the Redemptive Impact Accelerator. And what this is try to help us gear our minds towards not just the effort that we're trying to make in the community, but what is God doing inside of us as the leaders of these organizations in the community. So I'm going through some material that's called the Redemptive Non Profit, and trying to exercise and incorporate into my own personal life what they call the rule for life. And the rule for life helps us, or helps me, manage certain areas of my nonprofit in order to make a better and greater community impact for the kingdom of God. So over the course of these next few videos, I want to give some attention to some areas that help us guide what it is that we're doing in the community and help govern and guide what we're doing in our own personal lives as we lead these organizations. So we're going to cover some different areas. We're going to cover time, we're going to cover money, we're going to cover decision making, and we're going to cover power and community. So one of the areas that I want to talk about, and I'll kind of go over all of these in different videos in more depth, but just to kind of give you an overview, here's kind of some of the information that I'll be sharing. We're going to talk about time. Okay, our schedules get super busy, we get jam-packed with meetings and things that do have to be done because they're important for the progression and the function of our business or our nonprofits. But as we're kind of mapping out our time and mapping out our schedules, what part of that are we using to incorporate rest into our work rhythms? What area or what time of the week are we setting aside to be able to reconnect with God and allow Him to be a part of our process, a part of our day? What time are we exercising for ourselves to slow things down and ask God what it is that He would have us do in our schedule, to ask Him for guidance in the direction of our business or nonprofit? We're going to talk about money and how we make good use of that, and being careful not to just look at other people for how they can be a resource for us. Okay, how much money can you give me? How much money can I get from you? But instead using money as a tool to not only help serve the people that are in our circle, but to help lift other people up. For instance, a newer nonprofit that maybe is following right behind you, or a business collaborative that you're working with someone else. How can you use your money and resources to help build them up and help them get some notoriety as you look to build up your own business? Okay, we'll talk about decision making. There's never a dull moment when it comes to having to make decisions and what it is that needs to be done for the immediate present, but also the future of your business or nonprofit. So in our decision-making process, what are we doing to allow God to be incorporated as we make those difficult decisions in our day-to-day? Are we taking a moment to say, not just, God bless this direction that I'm going, but God, where would you have me go? As I get ready to make this decision, what do you say about that? Should I partner with these people? Should I be a blessing to them? Is this a direction that we need to go? If I make this decision, am I doing too much too soon? So these are some of the important decisions that we can allow God to be a part of to help guide us to avoid potential pitfalls in the future. Another would be power. Whether you're the CEO or maybe you're the executive director, you have inherent in your title, have power to make important decisions that will affect other people's lives, not just the community that you intend to serve, but the people that you lead as well. So there may be people that are dependent on you for their salary, for making decisions that could either build the company up or break them down. As we use and exercise our power, we could only hope that we use it for good, but certainly what we don't want to do is use it for personal gain, to manipulate or to coerce others. So this is where we keep our power in check and we submit ourselves to the authority and the ultimate power of God to say, okay, God, with this influence and power that I have, help me to use that to build other people up and not exploit them. Help me to use this power and influence to help other kingdom-minded and Christ-centered organizations to be made known. Okay, without necessarily needing to have the recognition, but to maybe use that authority and influence and the power to put other people in the spotlight where maybe we once were, or maybe somebody did the same thing for us. And lastly, we're going to talk about community. And I really do believe that in our intentions to do good work in our community, in our surroundings, it's easy to get wrapped up in our day-to-day and have things ultimately become about us, about how we can be served more, how we can grow faster, and how we can get our name noticed and recognized in the community. In the Redemptive Nonprofit, what we're asking of God is for God to allow us to not look at others for how we could use them for notoriety and fame, but what community connections should we make to build relationships that are may become lifelong friendships? Or what relationships do we need to build that we can help them in their time of need? When we look at our leadership, when we look at the people that we serve, when we look at our circle and our community, who is it that we're relating with? Are we stopping and taking the time to get to know the people that we're leading? The people that we're meeting in the community, are we looking at them as a simple resource or a means to an end? Or are we building relationships that are calling us to go beyond just the superficial to say, how can I serve you today? And look at our circle of friends. Are we meeting with people that are the change that we want to see in the community? Are we meeting with people that are in need, and can we meet that need? So as we kind of dive into this a little deeper later on, I really want to kind of just leave you with this challenge and to ask you a few things. So I want to ask you this: is the work that you're doing, right? Is the work that you're doing right now that God has called you to, has it slowly transitioned, and that thing that was once a blessing, is it starting to, or has it now become a burden? And if that is the case, prayerfully consider just sitting down and asking God, how do I get back to that place where that thing that I was once passionate about, to the why, the reason that you called me to do this work in the first place, to continue to move forward in that same passion and affection for the work that you're doing? And lastly, what are you doing to fill your cup? In what ways are you engaging with God, engaging with worship, engaging in church community? What is it that you do to fill your cup? Are you? And if not, how can you incorporate that into your weekly schedule? All right, so I'd love to hear how you're doing those things, how God is moving in your life. I'd love to hear if it is becoming a burden, how are you fighting against that? Where are you at right now? Because what I'm hoping to do is share what I'm learning as I'm growing myself to help me be a resource for others. I've been in ministry for 17 years now. My wife and I recently started a nonprofit called Grace Family Love, and we've actually had the doors open to our nonprofit for about 7 months now. If you'd like to know more about that, I will include our website down in the description below. I live in California and I'm here in the Central Valley, so if that's you and you're interested in seeing how you could get involved in the good work that God is doing in your community, I'll leave the resources down in the description below as well. And if God is moving you and you want to get involved, you can reach out to us, or you could reach out to them to see how you could help become that change in the community. All right, God bless you.